There's a Supreme Court case that nobody's paying attention to that you really should. It's called the National Pork Producers versus Ross. And it's important because this is the first time that the Supreme Court is considering where states' rights ends. Basically, California voted for Prop 12, which wanted more space for pigs. The challenge is not a lot of the pigs that are sold, pork products that are sold in California, are actually made in California. States like Iowa in particular, as the nation's largest pork producer, is really struggling with this because they don't know which pigs will end up in California. So they're saying they have to change the lifestyle for every pig that they sell. And California is such a major market that they don't want to choose to exclude California moving forward. What makes this particularly interesting is the Supreme Court is split, even amongst the Republican-appointed justices. They're split in two. Half are focusing more on states' rights and California's right to have its own laws about what is sold within its own borders. On the other side, you have the Constitutional Commerce Clause, which basically wanted to ensure that we wouldn't have restrictions between states so we'd have a more perfect union, especially an economic collection of states that can function as one strong national economy. Some of the arguments from some of the justices are, could you have California pass a law that said we're not going to buy any pork from companies that don't require employees to be vaccinated or don't provide gender-affirming surgery? Justice Brett Kavanaugh said, can you have a law that says you can't sell fruit in our state if it's not produced and handled by people who are in the country legally? Is that a state law permissible? What this really calls into question is where states' rights start and end versus federal rights, because each states have been creating these laws that help restrict certain things that can and can't come inside their state. Is that allowed? For example, would it be forbidden to require imported firewood be sprayed with a certain pesticide, which is particularly important for big farming states that need to protect their crops from other states that might be importing something that is dangerous for their own existing state? Right now, it looks like the Supreme Court might just give up on this one and bat it back down to the circuit courts, which means farmers are going to have to prove economic hardship or damage from this law. But really, the conversation's already opened up. And I'd love to know where you stand. Is California's states' rights more important than Iowa and other pork farming communities' ability to import pigs into California? Let me know what you think.